Hello again, this is Dean Karstens, and this is Dean's N-Scale Trains. Those of you who've been watching my videos know that I use Atlas track planning software to define my railroad plans. Today I'm going to give a little short demo on how you do that. So stay tuned if you're interested. So today I'm going to talk about the Atlas track planning software. Note that this is also called SCARM, Simple Computer Aided Railway Modeler. There are some things that I like and some things that I dislike about Atlas track planning software. The demo version is free. If you limit the number of items that you put in your layout design, you don't ever have to pay. After that, it's $40. The software is easy to use. It can be used with virtually any track system, N-scale, HO scale, O, whatever. It has a very nice help website, and you can put in buildings and bridges and so on. What I don't like is it doesn't always work the way it should, or it works wrong, and it's a little difficult to move items. All these things come with a piece of software that's written by one individual. So here's the railroad I'm going to be showing you how to build today. We have the Atlas track planning software. On the left-hand side, there are various sections of track that we can add. I'm using the Atlas N80 N-scale track system for this particular diagram. On the top, we have a ribbon of things that we can do. The railroad itself has two circles, the outer circle, the inner circle. Down here is a double crossover, and I've added a siding here, a bridge, and a tunnel between here and here. Let's look at the 3D view. Go up into View, 3D Viewer, and here's what you get. This is the normal view. It's a little hard to see, but I've raised this section of track 2 inches above the level, the original level. So this is the terrain visible view. The terrain wireframe gives a slightly different perspective, and no terrain shows you this. And you can see the supports going up. As you can see, we go from 0 to 96 inches here, 0 to 48 down here. I'm going to change the view a little bit using my wheel. I can make it smaller or larger. First thing we want to do is create a baseboard. So we go to Edit, Create Baseboard, and I'm going to start here at the 0 point. If you hit Control, it's vertical and horizontal lines only. Without that, I can put this anywhere I want, but I'm going to hit Control, take it up to, I'm going to define a 4x8 sheet of plywood, come down here to 48, and right-clicking finishes up the baseboard. So the first thing I need to do is to define a new start point. Okay. Now, this menu can go up and down. You can see there's all sorts of track sections available, switches, crossings, and so on. I'm going to start with a 5-inch. I hit that and it produces one. Now you see, it's hard to see, but the start point is here, is red and pointing in that direction. Now I can just add more, or I can hit the space bar, and that puts in the last track that I've defined. Now I'm going to go make this into a curve. I'll hit the 19-inch radius, and you see I have two directions. I can go down. Don't want to go that way. Or I can go in this direction. We'll just complete the circle. And then we want the 5-inch. And go back to the 19-inch circle. Okay. Now, it's not quite where I want it. So I'm going to select the track. When you do the selection box, whatever is inside the box completely is selected. Now I'm not quite happy with that. I could hit Control and just hit all of these. Oops, went away. You have to make sure your pointer is exactly in the right spot. I'm just going to reselect this, making sure that I get all the track. Alright, now I want to move it. Moving is a little bit complicated. I put my cursor in the middle of the track, do right click, hit move, and then I can put it where I want it and hit the left button to stop it. Okie doke, so deselect that. Let's put in our double crossover. I'm going to take out this one, select that track section and delete it. Make my start point there and pick a left-hand remote switch. Now we have three options of where are we going to connect it to the three parts of the switch. I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to delete a couple of these tracks. Make this start point there and do a right-hand remote switch. And that was wrong. I'll hit Control Z. I'll do a left hand. Well, now let's see. No, I want the right hand. Okay. At this point, put a start point here. I want to put in a crossing. So we wheel on down using the wheel on my mouse. Let's try the 30-degree crossing. And we have a number of places, two choices of putting it. That looks good, but that's obviously not going to work. So let's try the there we go. I picked the wrong crossing. Now, that's not quite where we want it, so I'm going to select these two pieces. I'm going to hit move and bring it down to there. And here I need to put in a shorter piece of track. Let's try the 2.5 inch. That works. Let's try the 2.5 inch up here. That works. Okay, now let's go ahead and complete our I didn't do a start point. It's really hard to see this. Let me blow this up. Okay, you can see here when I point left click on the point, it defines a new starting point. So now we want a right hand remote. We want to tie it in there, and we want a start point over here. We want a left hand remote and tie it into there, and now we want to put in a 2.5 inch piece, and our double crossover is complete. Alright, now if I go up and push this button, which is, I think that's fill screen, we get the whole thing back. Put my start point there, a couple of 5 inch sections, 9 inch. Aha, not going to work. So let's delete this piece, go back to our 19 inch. And that's not going to work. So what I need to do is move this part of the track and I'm just going to move it out of the way. And I'm going to put in a 5 inch piece here, and then I'm going to reselect this, go to move, and bring it back. Now when I get close to there, it's hard to see, but there's a little green spot between the two. That means this is going to line up perfectly. So to continue over here, I need a 5 inch piece, and our outer circle is complete. Now to simplify things, I want to raise this part of the layout. To simplify it, I'm going to get rid of this stuff. I hit Control and I click on these things because I don't want to select these. Hit Shift and deselect these. Okay, now I'm going to delete this track. So, to raise up this end of the track, and again I'm going to blow this up a little bit so it's easier to see. I'm going to, let's see, view, track heights is selected. There, I deselected it. I'm going to bring it back, show track heights. Now I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to go up to increase the track height. just go ahead and take that up to 2 inches. Now, you see it shows the gradient in percent. Now, when we passed 2%, it went from green to yellow, which is saying this may be too high. What happens if we go even higher? Goes above 4% and it turns black, which means this is way, way too high. So let's take it back to 2 inches. Can't hit exactly. We just go to 2.01. Now you see each of these sections, the ends of each section is its height is defined when we did it that way. I'm going to move over here, and in the middle it's 1.08, which is basically 1 inch. Keeps decreasing evenly, and we go down and get to 0 here. So this is a nice increasing section of track. I'm going to go back to view the whole thing, and now I need to raise this part up to 2 inches. So, and to make this simpler to do, I'm going to move it down a little bit. With this button, you're supposed to be able to put in the numeric height with input keys. So I'm going to make that to, no, I'm not. Using the wheel to adjust this. This operation doesn't always work, where you can input a numeric value. Okay, you see, so we have a gradient here from 2 inches down to 0. I want to make this 2 inches also. Let's see if we can do this. Yep, in that case it worked. So this entire section is at 2 inches. And let's move it back. Right click, move, and we'll just put it right there. It went green, and there we are. Okay, let's try this 3D view. And as you can see, doesn't work. Why is this section not raised? I don't know. Oh, that's why. Okay, we'll go back and do it again. Put in 2.01. Define this point. Make that 2.01. And now let's try the view. Okay. So now we have this section raised up. You see, this is a very abrupt change. So we have to define this half circle over here. So let's close this out. and select this section. I'm going to make that, the numeric is still chosen, so 2.01. Make that larger. Larger still. 1.93, we're almost there, so I'm going to hit the raise height. Okay, 2.01. And we have a 3.1% grade, which is not too bad. So let's view the full thing, and let's go back to 3D viewer. Okay, so now we have that nicely defined. Okie doke. Now let's go back here and complete the inner circle. I'm not totally happy with that. Okay, deselect this one. Select this one. Select these three. And we'll just move this out. Because I want to put in a 5-inch. Roll that down with my wheel. Okay, now let's select this again. Remember, whatever is completely enclosed by the box is selected. Move that back. And there we go. Put in a bunch of 5 inches up here. And go back to our 19-inch. Oops, not going to make it. By hitting Control Z continuously, it just backs out of what I did. Let's try this. And 5 inches. Nope. I want to do a 2.5 inch there. Now I talked about putting in a siding here. So I'm going to delete that. Put in a left-hand remote. Oops, no point selected. Left-hand remote. And I'm going to do a 19-inch. And then some 5 inches. And let's save this. Save as. We're going to call this example layout number 2 and save that. So looking back, this isn't exactly what I talked about building, so I'm going to make a few changes here. Let's select out this double crossover. Move it. Similarly, let me select this siding and move it out of the way. add some track. This is more like I had, had it before. Delete these two pieces. Move this back in. And put in a 2.5 inch. And we'll make this one a little bit longer. Pick a 5 inch. Okay, and I had put in some tunnels. Deselect these. And then hit the tunnel button up here. Now you see this is defining a tunnel. I put in a bridge. Okay, I think this is what I had done before. Let's look at our view, the 3D viewer. And that all looks pretty good. Let's go back to showing the terrain. And you can see the tunnel is defined. There's sort of a bridge there, it's hard to tell. And let's center the... Okay, I selected that. But that's not what I want to do. I'm going to do Control All and then deselect the baseboard. Which isn't working. So let's stop that. I'll select all the track like this and see if I can move this to center it a little better. There we go. Okay, now let's do something crazy with the baseboard. I'll select it. I'm going to put in a insert new point there. Insert new point there. Put in a couple more points. Clean this up a little bit. Try to get it straight. And let's select this track. And make that a bridge. Now let's view this 3D. So what I've done is I've removed this part of the baseboard and put in a bridge just to give you an idea of what you can do. Close that out. Now, some other things that are available. Let's look at our selection by list. that. I want parts list. So here we have our parts list showing everything that we have. Now, you notice that the total number is 98. With the free version of the track planning software, you can only go up to 100 pieces. So say if I wanted to continue doing this, oops, don't want that. Let's turn off our bridge. Say I want to put in no start point. Okay, so we've gotten up to 100 pieces. It says we can't do any more without buying the paid version of the software, which costs $40, by the way. But we don't want to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is show you how to do the flex track. So let's delete some of this track. And let's put in some flex track. And it's not quite big enough. Not quite long enough. Here's our start point. We'll put in another flex track and see if I can line it up enough to there we go. Now if we go to our parts list, you see we're down to 88 because we put in these two sections of flex track. So if we wanted to, we could continue replacing the sections with flex track. Okay, I'm going to click that and then see if I can, there we go. Okay. So you see how this can be done, how you can replace all the sectional tracks with longer pieces of flex track. Okay, now I want to show you how to add buildings and structures. I'm back to my basic track diagram here. Let's go up here, click the down arrow, and we'll get figures. This is the figure menu. First of all, let's find out how much space we have in our list. Going to parts list, we're at 97, so I need to decrease the number of track sections. Let's take this series of straight track sections, delete them, and replace them with a couple of Okay, a couple of flex tracks. Now we go back to Tools, Parts List, and we're down to 89, so we can add some figures. I'll start with a rectangle. I'm going to put in a station here. And the color, let's just make that black, or I guess a dark blue. Now I want to put a roof on that. Oops. Have to select a base. And we have several options here, like this one. Alright, that is my station. Now I'm going to add and let's make that gray. And now if I want to move that, right click on it, move. As with track. Okay, there I've got a station. Now, say I want to add another building. Let's go back to rectangle. Say I want to put it over here. Let's make this a house. Make it green. Put a roof on it. Oops, got to select the rectangle. Put a roof on it, and I'll make it this type of roof. We'll change the color properties. Let's make this yellow. And this roof I want to make properties. Let's make that a red. I don't like what I did before. It's kind of a pink. There's a red. All right, that shows you how. Now let's see how we're doing on parts list. Still 89 on the track. And we added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so we're getting up there. So I'm going to stop. That shows you how to add buildings. So that shows you the basic operations. There's a whole lot more to the ATPS. For instance, if you're getting serious about this, you want to learn how to do layers. You break the track sections into different layers, makes it a whole lot easier to work with. Anyway, as I say, that's it for today. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. And thank you for watching.